Okay, so test results from yesterday. Remember, the corrections are due Monday. Any questions on the test? Okay, so this is calendar. This is like what's left of the school year. There's only 17 days of school left, including today. So let's just go over how this last few weeks is going to work. First of all, okay, so this is today, so new stuff today. And new stuff next week. On Wednesday next week, we're going to have a quiz, a normal quiz. And then the rest of the day will be free, just like a normal Wednesday. New stuff Thursday. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, no school because that's Memorial Day weekend. This Wednesday, not going to be a free day. It's a really short week, so we're going to do new material. New stuff, new stuff, new stuff. This day, we're going to have the test on Unit 13. And this test is going to be a little bit unusual. There's not going to be a test review the day before. There's not going to be corrections allowed. This test, all we're doing from now through all this new material is constructions, different types of constructions. So I figured I couldn't think of a way to make like a challenge question on constructions. It's just you either know how to do it or you don't know how to do it. And same thing with corrections. You either know how to do it or you don't know how to do it. So you should just learn how to do it before the test instead of after the test. That's my opinion about that. So this test, no corrections and no review the day before. Okay? That week, we're just going to talk about Regents type questions and what they look like. And we don't have to take a Regents exam or anything like that, but we're just going to talk about it so that you have some idea of that. Regents questions this day, free day Wednesday, and then Regents questions again and Regents questions again. This week, there's a final exam. Now, we got some guidance from the office about what the final exam is supposed to be for and what it's supposed to look like and stuff like that. And this is the result. The result is we were basically told that if a student is passing and you average their 4 quarters, then that's going to be their grade. They don't need a final exam. If a student is not passing, if you average their 4 quarters, which means less than 65, apparently 65 is passing now, I missed that memo, but if your average is less than 65, which does apply to several students in geometry, then you have to take a final exam. If you pass that final exam, then you will get credit for the course. But there will be a note in your transcript that says that you actually failed the course, but you're just getting credit because of COVID. So the final exam will be on this day and this day, but it's only going to be for students who have failed the first 4 quarters or for students who want to take it because they think it might improve their grade. It's optional. You don't have to take it. You may take it if you would like to take it. Question? As far as I know, it's supposed to apply to all classes, but maybe some teachers are applying the rule differently. I don't really know. I just know I didn't feel like giving a final exam if it's not going to count for anything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just not giving a final exam. That's a great question. If you want to take it and it's not going to help you, then I won't count it. Totally optional. Those days, though, it's going to be quiet in here. Like, you just need to bring something else to do if you're not taking the test. If you're not taking the final, just bring something else to do so that you're not disruptive to the people who have to or want to take the test. Does everybody understand that? And then these 2 days are just going to be totally free. We'll play games or something like that. And that's it.
Why is there no Thursday?
I can't hear you.
Why is there no Thursday?
There's no school that day.
Why?
There's a English Regents exam.
Yeah, that's for like Tuesday.
Yeah. There's a ELA Regents exam this day, and the other exams are the following week.
Nice.
Okay? So there's no like cumulative type thing at the end. And
We have one whole week of school.
yeah.
Whole week.
So for us, our like cumulative review type thing is going to be these Regents questions. And it's not going to be, there is going to be some sort of work like that you're going to do, but it's not going to be anything major. It's not going to be a test or anything like that. It's just going to be us just doing Regents questions and just seeing what those look like. That's it. Any questions? So if you are one of the people that are required to take this, I'll let you know by email after we take the final test, because that's what's going to determine it. After this test is when I'll know like what everybody's 4-quarter average is, and you'll know if you have to take the final or not. And if you do, luck. It's your last chance. Yes. You can try. I have the extras if you need them. Yeah, they're fine. But if not,
We have to take count files, regardless of whether that
there you go, whole box.
goes all year.
You need an extra.
Yeah.
My God, you know, I just like it all. I'm sure there will be.
Okay. Any questions on this stuff then? All right, so today we're just going to continue talking about constructions. So we've talked about constructions a few times at the beginning of the year and then in the middle of the year. So let's just end up with constructions. So these are just special constructions. So today, in particular, we're going to talk about constructing a square inscribed in a circle. Okay? A square inscribed in a circle. So remember what that means, first of all, inscribed. Inscribed means that each of the angles of the square are inscribed angles of the circle. Or in other words, each of the 4 corners of the square lie on the circle itself, right? So a square inscribed in a circle, when you're done, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like a circle with a square inside it, like this. That's what the final result should be, right? That's a square inscribed in a circle. So here's how it's going to look. They're going to give you a circle, and they're going to identify the center of the circle. Okay, that's an important thing. You have to know where the center of the circle is. So like, for example, maybe I know that the circle has a center right here. Okay, so when I use my circle drawing tool here, it's not really, well, I guess I could use the compass, but I'm just going to use my circle drawing tool right here. And I'm going to start at that point. Okay, so I'm going to use my circle drawing tool and make a circle centered at that point. That's going to be where you start in these problems. And they're going to say, construct a square inscribed in this circle. And maybe they'll give the center a name, like they'll say like E. So they'll say, construct a square inscribed in circle P. Okay, so I'll write out step-by-step instructions, and we'll do it as we go. All right, so the first step is to, step 1, is to draw any diameter of circle P. Draw any diameter of circle P. So that's just any line segment that passes through P and then starts and ends on the circle, right? So I'm just going to use my little segment drawer here, and let me use a different color. I'll use blue. And I'm just going to draw a line segment that starts on the circle, goes through P, and ends on the circle. Okay. So as long as you know where the center is, you should be able to do that. That's why it's important that you know where the center is to begin with. If they don't draw the center of the circle in, this construction is not possible. Okay, that's step one. Step two is to construct the perpendicular bisector of that diameter that you just drew. So construct the perpendicular bisector of the diameter from step one. So that's one of our basic constructions, right? There's 4 basic constructions that we learned like the second week of school. They were copying a line segment, perpendicular bisector of a line segment, copying an angle, and bisecting an angle. Those are the 4 basic constructions. So that's what you do here. You're going to get your compass, and remember how that basic construction works. Uh-oh, compass. Uh-oh, my computer froze. Hang on a second. There it is. Okay. So we have our compass. Remember how this perpendicular bisector construction works? You put the point of the compass at one end of the diameter. Open your compass more than halfway, right? And make like an arc. This. Do you remember this construction? Then you flip your compass around and make an arc from the other end point of the diameter back. And the key thing is you want these points of intersection of the 2 arcs so that you can connect the dots, right? So I'm going to connect the dots now, but I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw this perpendicular bisector as a second diameter. Does that make sense? I'm going to draw the perpendicular bisector as a second diameter. So it's going to look like this. I'll start up here, go through that point, go through the center, go through that point, and then end on a circle again. That. That's a right angle now. So if you just look at what we've done, we've actually split this central angle into 4 equal angles, right? 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, right? Which means that these 4 arcs are the same measure. Do you agree? They're all 90-degree arcs of the same circle. So what we've created then is we've created the diagonals of the square. All you have to do now is connect this point to that point, to this point, to that point, to that point, and you have a square. That's it. So step 3 is to connect the endpoints of these 2 diameters to create your square, and you're done. Step 3 is to connect the endpoints of the 2 diameters. So I'll do this in red. I use my segment jar, but I'll make it red, and I'm just going to connect it. So there's one piece of the square, there's the second piece of the square, and the third side of the square, and the fourth side of the square. And I'm done. The red square is now inscribed in the circle. Okay, I'll go through it one more time. So let's try again. So again, you have to kind of know where you're starting from. You have to have the center of the circle like identified. And I'll use my compass to draw it. So I'm just starting with a random circle of any radius. Okay. Step one is to draw any diameter. So let's have it go this way. It could be any diameter at all, as long as it passes through the center. Step two is to construct the perpendicular bisector of the diameter. So I'm going to put the point of my compass at one endpoint, open it more than halfway, and make an arc. Flip the compass around, make an arc from the other side. And then draw the second diameter. A little off, let me just get it there, and then I can move it back. And then just connect the endpoints of the diameter. That's it. That's the whole construction. Okay. Any questions on any part of that? Next Wednesday's quiz will be only on this. This is it. This is the quiz. So we haven't had very many quizzes this quarter, and the quizzes are 40% of your grade. So if you messed up on one or more of your quizzes, then just really knock this one out of the park, and it'll help you a lot. Because 40% of your grade, and I think we've only had like 3 of them so far. So this will be like literally 10% of your grade. Do you know how to do this or not for the whole quarter? Okay? Any questions? All right, so it's Delta Math, and I think it's just called constructing an inscribed square. Yeah, you got to remember how to use the compass and the line drawing and the ray drawing and stuff like that. Make sure you read the directions, because it'll say like your final answer should be whatever. Like it'll tell you, I think it's like 4 blue line segments or whatever. Make sure you're using the segment drawer, not the line drawer or whatever.